The ocean was calm, the sky glowing with the soft orange of early dawn, when the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Vela received the distress signal. A small Filipino fishing vessel had reported being aggressively chased by an unidentified warship believed to be Chinese. Tensions in the South China Sea were already high, and every move felt like stepping on a live wire. Commander Ethan Hayes, a seasoned officer known for his composure under pressure, stood on the bridge with a focused gaze. "Maintain current course," he ordered. "We're going in steady, no provocation." Nearby, Petty Officer Lucas Rivera monitored the radar. "Sir, unknown vessel approaching fast, definitely military grade. Size suggests a Chinese Type 056 corvette." Ethan's jaw tightened. Encounters like this were dangerous. One wrong move could ignite international headlines, and maybe a war. Minutes later, the massive silhouette of the Chinese warship cut through the haze like a steel predator. It wasn't just shadowing Vela, it was closing distance aggressively. "Sir, they're too close," Lucas muttered. Before Ethan could issue the next command, the Chinese ship veered sharply starboard. Metal screamed against metal as its hull collided with the side of Vela, sending the entire deck shuddering. Crew members struggled to keep balance as alarms blared through the ship. "Brace! Brace! Brace!" shouted Chief Engineer Mason Clark over the intercom. The impact was not just forceful, it was deliberate. Water churned violently around the two vessels as they locked in a tense standstill, hulls grinding. Ethan's fists clenched at his sides, but his voice stayed steady. "Damage control teams report." The radio crackled with chaos. "Minor breach on port side, no casualties yet." Lucas glanced at Ethan. "Sir, what do we do now? They hit us first." Ethan stared across the narrow gap between the ships where Chinese sailors stood watching, emotionless. "We don't fire," he said slowly. "But we don't back down either." He stepped forward, locking eyes with the enemy ship's bridge. "This just stopped being a patrol," he whispered. "Now it's a message." The tension on deck felt like static before a lightning strike. The Chinese warship stayed pressed dangerously close, its engines humming like a warning growl. Through binoculars, Lucas could see their crew moving in formation, cameras rolling, clearly trying to frame the situation to their advantage. "Sir, they're recording," Lucas reported. "Trying to make it look like we rammed them." Ethan exhaled slowly. "They want a reaction. Something they can broadcast." Chief Mason arrived on the bridge, wiping sweat and grease from his forehead. "Hull breach contained. But if they push again, we won't be so lucky." Ethan nodded. "Keep patching. Prepare for evasive maneuvers, but only on my order." "Copy that," Mason replied before heading back. Down in communications, Specialist Jenna Carter intercepted a transmission. "Commander, Chinese vessel is hailing us. They're accusing us of illegal entry and hostile positioning in their waters." Ethan's eyes narrowed. "Open channel." A stern voice filled the bridge. "This is Chinese Naval Command. You have violated territorial integrity. You initiated collision. Prepare to be boarded for investigation." Lucas whispered, "They're bluffing, right?" Ethan didn't answer immediately. He stared ahead at the warship, its flag fluttering boldly. "This is Commander Ethan Hayes of the United States Coast Guard. We're operating in internationally recognized waters. You executed a hostile impact on our vessel. We will not submit to boarding." Silence followed. Then Ethan added, firmly, "Any further aggression will be documented and responded to appropriately." The line went dead. For a moment, everything was still. "Sir," Jenna said quietly, "Pentagon is requesting a situation update. They are monitoring." Ethan rubbed his temples. "Send them everything, video, audio, impact logs." An uneasy quiet settled over the crew. Even the waves seemed hesitant. Lucas finally spoke. "Do you think they'll strike again?" Ethan's voice was calm but heavy. "They didn't hit us to sink us. They hit us to test us." "And now?" Lucas asked. "Now," Ethan said, staring into the distance, "they're waiting to see if we flinch." But far out on the horizon, another radar contact began to appear, fast, large, and unmistakably American. A faint smirk touched Ethan's lips. Reinforcements were coming. The radar blip grew steadily larger, and soon the silhouette of a U.S. Navy destroyer, the USS Liberty, cut through the horizon like a steel guardian. The crew of Vela watched with renewed energy as the destroyer sent a low warning horn across the water. It was calm, but unmistakably dominant. Lucas grinned. "Now we're not alone." Ethan's expression remained focused. Reinforcements change the game, but don't end it. Within minutes, the Liberty positioned itself diagonally behind Vela, creating a defensive presence. Over the loudspeakers, a deep, authoritative voice echoed across the sea. Chinese vessel, this is the United States Navy destroyer Liberty. Disengage immediately and maintain safe distance. You are being recorded and monitored by multiple US and allied systems. Suddenly, the confidence on the Chinese deck looked thinner. Sir, they're powering down forward momentum, Lucas observed. Good, Ethan replied. But don't relax just yet. At that moment, Mason radioed in again. Commander, patchwork is holding, but another impact could tear us open. We can't afford another hit. Understood, Ethan said. Keep teams ready. The Chinese warship slowly shifted away, but not far. It drifted parallel, watching, waiting. Jenna received another incoming message. Sir, Pentagon says diplomatic channels are heating up. Beijing is already issuing statements. They claim we provoked the collision. Ethan clenched his jaw. Of course they are. As tensions eased just slightly, Lucas whispered, Sir, what now? Ethan looked beyond the Chinese ship at the rising sun. Now we outlast them. We hold position. We stay calm. Let them blink first. Minutes turned into half an hour. Both ships floated like chess pieces locked in a critical standoff. The crew of Vela remained battle-ready, though they hadn't fired a single round. Suddenly, Lucas stiffened. Sir, movement on their deck. Looks like boarding equipment. Ethan turned sharply. Are they actually trying something with the Liberty right behind us? Before he could react further, a new transmission came through, not from China, not from Washington, but from the Liberty itself. Commander Hayes, stand by. We are initiating strategic intimidation protocol. Ethan raised a brow. Strategic what now? Lucas smirked. That sounds like Navy talk for watch this. The sea fell silent, as if it sensed the next moment would define everything. The USS Liberty adjusted its angle, its massive frame turning broadside toward the Chinese vessel. Slowly, deliberately, its missile hatches opened, not arming, just revealing. It was a silent declaration, we see you. We're ready. Think carefully. Across the water, the Chinese crew froze. Cameras stopped moving. Even from a distance, the shift in their posture was visible. Sir, Lucas said quietly, they're hesitating. Ethan nodded. That's the point. A deep, controlled voice broadcast from the Liberty again. Chinese vessel, any attempt to board a United States military ship will be considered an act of hostile escalation. Disengage now. Seconds ticked like thunder. Then, slowly, the Chinese ship powered its engines and began to pull away. Cheers erupted on Vela, but Ethan raised a hand. We don't celebrate a spark that didn't become a fire. We just keep the ocean calm. Lucas exhaled. But we held the line. We did, Ethan said. The Chinese warship gradually faded into the distance, vanishing beyond the haze without another word. Vela remained steady, patched but unbroken, shadowed by the Liberty like a smaller brother watched over by a giant. Pentagon's final message came minutes later, stand by for debrief. Situation under diplomatic review. Excellent restraint. Mason arrived on the bridge, grease still on his hands. Hull stable. Ship's alive. Ethan glanced at his crew, tired, tense, but standing tall. So are we. Lucas walked beside him. Do you think they'll try again? Ethan looked toward the horizon where the enemy had disappeared. The ocean is full of lines, some invisible, some drawn in steel. Today, they tested ours. And now they know it holds. As the sun rose fully, casting gold across the battered deck, the crew of Vela stood in quiet pride. No missiles were fired. No soldiers fell. But a message had been sent loud and clear. You can hit us. But we don't break. The radio crackled one last time, from the Liberty. Nice work out there, Coast Guard. Breakfast's on us when we hit base. Lucas grinned. Now that, he said, is what victory tastes like. Ethan finally smiled. Let's head home. And with steady engines and unshaken resolve, Vela turned toward safer waters, having survived not just a collision, but a test of strength, discipline, and American resolve.